Hello, I'm Scott Bogie here with Jakub Kaszuba ahead of his upcoming PFL fight against Sergio Cossio. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for the invite.
And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
Doing good. I'm ready to rumble. Just all the hard training is done. Just weight cutting, right? The
Yeah.
worst part.
And you have obviously are coming into this fight off the back of two successful PFL Europe campaigns. Do you feel like that has been a good testing ground for you to be able to step up into the proper PFL scene?
Yeah, it has. Just because my two championship fights were against very top prospects, which was
Yeah.
nice. And then my second season, I mean, I versed two Bellator veterans. One was Daniele Scatizzi, the Italian guy, and then Kane Musa from England. So yeah, those guys got me definitely ready for this big stage, I think.
And I think what a lot of people like kind of were a bit wondering was what really made you go into that tournament a second time. Because after the first time you won that, we kind of all saw your ability. We all thought now it's the time you'll step up into the big scene. What made you try to defend that belt?
Well, I didn't have a choice. PFL just told me what they want me to do, so I said, okay. And they wanted me because they had so many Bellator guys after the acquisition. They didn't know what to
Yeah.
do with them, so they wanted to put them in the main tourney.
And then in your last fight, you were against a very tough opponent in Connor Hughes. You were able to get him out in that fourth round. How was that fight for you?
Yeah, that was the championship fight. That was my
Yeah.
sixth fight in 18 months. So I was really worn out, and I got injured 3 weeks before. I tore a bunch of ligaments in my foot. So I trained 3 weeks out with no ligaments, and then I fought on it with no ligaments. And then during the fight in the first round, I additionally tore two more ligaments. So I'm glad it's over.
And what was there any part of you that was going through that preparation? Obviously, you're getting all these injuries that was like, we can't fight. Let's stop this, we pull out, and then we can go from there.
No, just because I was making like 10 grand to fight if I won in that European PFL tourney. So for me, 100,000 was the complete prize, and I was so dead set on it, and I needed it. That I even considered pulling out, and I just knew that if I get to the ground, I can do what I need to do, even if my movement is impeded by the injury with my striking.
And what did you spend that 100 grand on?
I bought a property.
Well, that sounds very nice. And obviously, with the PFL Europe, it is starting to show its success. You obviously have got you coming up through the ranks. You have Dakota. She won her PFL Europe campaign. Do you feel like being able to have that experience, have that tournament format style, do you feel like that helps you going forward into the proper tournament?
Yeah, I mean, just it proves that I can train hard and make weight.
Yeah,
And the tournament format, I think, is grueling as a not a single fight type of way in a big picture, right? That you can get
yeah.
prepared, 3 fights in a year back to back. So yeah, I think overall made me a better fighter. I know myself more, and I just love the amount of volume of fights I got to have, which was nice.
And does it give you like a good picture of how to plan out the year? Because obviously you know when the season is. You know, here's the start, here's the end. You can need to be ready for it all, and then you have the off season where you can start to not stop training, but stop being as intense.
So, are we talking about the European one or the American one? Which one you want to know, or both?
Just both, and just in
It's
general.
both. So the European one was actually not that well communicated to me. So when I fought Kane Musa, they gave me like 9 weeks notice, and I just came back from a cruise. I was expecting to fight in April, end of April, like it was the year previous.
Yeah.
But here they told me about 9 weeks out when I was 195 pounds that I gotta make 155. So that sucked, and that wasn't well communicated on PFL Europe's term. Uh, but that's just because it's a brand new tournament. And in terms of now with PFL US, I mean, Yeah, they by December you sort of know the schedule, which is nice, so you can adequately prepare. And I knew the schedule for this year too. I just knew I wouldn't be able to compete in it because
Yeah, injuries.
of my injury. Yeah.
So I'm guessing you come through into this fight against Sergio, you get past that test. Will we see you in that tournament next year?
I don't know. PFL and my new contract didn't guarantee me a spot in the tourney next year. They just guaranteed me 2 fights this year. So definitely after this fight, I want to fight another fight before the end of the year, and then I don't know what they want to do with me. So whatever they want to do, that's where we'll go.
And what is it about Sergio's game that you think they can really take advantage of?
I'm just a more physical guy. I'm bigger, stronger, more powerful. So I think I can. That's my strengths, and I'm a more technical boxer and a good wrestler. So I just think I can control the fight where I want to.
And after you're able to get the victory here, what are you doing to celebrate the victory?
Ooh, I just eat a lot, man. I love eating. I love food. Atlantic City's got some good pizza joints. Definitely go on the boardwalk, get a fucking corn dog or something. That sounds nice. Just fatty foods, man. That's what I want, and sweets.
So, have you got any corn dog recommendations? Fire it away. I'm
No,
quite
no, I
interested.
haven't. I got a good pizza recommendation though, so I know what pizza I'll go to. And yeah, I love burgers. So burgers, milkshake, that type of boardwalk food is definitely there. So I'm excited.
And you're now training at the Gracie Barra. Is that correct?
Yeah, in Jacksonville.
When was it that you kind of moved over there?
Well, I mean, I've lived in Jacksonville, Florida since I was 9 years old. I moved here in 2004. So yeah, I've been in Gracie Barra for a good, I think, 5 years now. Before that, I was in Elevate,
Yeah.
but the MMA community is so small in Jacksonville that we go to all the gyms, we all know each other. But now, I decided with the coaching that's there and all the fighters that are there that Gracie Barra, Jacksonville will be my current gym, and it is, and I plan on staying there for the end of my career.
And how has that been for your development so far? Also, you have said it's got the coaches, it's got the sparring partners, but how has it kind of took it to the next level?
Well, I get a lot of one-on-one with all my coaches, and I have a good relationship with them. They know me, I know them. Same with my training partners. I've trained with them for a long time. They know me, I know them. So there's not a lot of surprises in terms of injuries and problems, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think we communicate well because we've been together for a long time, and we trust each other. We know each other's limits and boundaries. So it's just we work well as a small team, and I like that. I like that small team environment.
And was that kind of one of the things that drew you when you were looking around, moving to this gym? Was that one of the things that you looked for? Was that kind of being able to have that one-on-ones coaching with the coaches?
Yeah, I like one-on-one. I like small gyms. I don't like if there's a lot of competition to take your head off. I think a lot of guys get injured like that before the fight. So yeah, that's definitely important factor. That's also how I choose my college, right? I wanted like smaller classrooms, more one-on-one with the professors. I just think that's a better environment for me.
And how did you really get into the MMA scene?
Me and my father, we did taekwondo as a kid, and then he took me to boxing lessons, and we did kickboxing, and then wrestling. And it was just inevitable. We competed in boxing, kickboxing, then wrestling, and at one point, we're like, well, let's try MMA, and here we are, and I'm getting some money off of it, which is nice.
Exactly. And you're performing on the biggest stage of them all in the PFL World Championships card. How big is it to be able to fight on a card of that magnitude?
Uh, I generally don't think like that. I'm just happy to to fight. I guess I'm maybe ask me after because I guess I don't know what to expect in terms of I fought on the biggest card in PFL Europe
Yeah.
twice. So it's I guess I can't really tell you until afterwards. I don't know. I'm just hoping it's gonna be very smoothly run, and I think it will be. Uh, but yeah, just like the professionalism. I like the high class professionalism and yeah, not a semi pro or amateur environment. So that's what I'm excited for, is the professional environment.
And have you been looking at the tournament so far this year?
I haven't seen any of the fights, but I've been, I've been looking at the results.
And is there just, I know you said you've not been really looking at the fights, but is there anyone currently either out the tournament so far or in it that you're looking to kind of look, if you're able to have that fight, you like it in the next year tournament if you get in?
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much all the guys in the lightweight bracket, right, are my guys, and I wonder how many of them will stay because PFL likes to rotate out the losers. So, yeah, it'd be cool to get tested, by maybe one of the ex-UFC guys that they got in there. I think they had two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the championship, there's always some type of Dagestani waiting for you. So that's the end goal.
And obviously, you if you do get into that tournament, you do win it. 500,000 is the goal this time. What would you've already bought the property with the 100,000. What would you do with the 500?
I don't know. Quit my job and live relaxed and train.
And so, do you, as well as being able to train and do this, you also work, did you say?
Yeah, I'm an auditor for the state of Florida.
And how has that been to try and like balance the two? Because obviously, it is you have to try and get that balance correct.
It's not bad. It's possible, but there's some days when I'm like, damn, I don't want to go to work. Especially 2, 3 weeks out. But I don't know. It's good. I can't complain. But like that, usually the last 2 to 3 weeks before the fight and going into work it sucks. Yeah, and I wish I didn't have to do that.
And what would you say has been that toughest fight for you so far? Is it that last fight against Connor coming in there with those injuries, or what do you feel like it's been?
Um, well, Connor is probably the best striker I ever fought, but the wrestling, really shut him down. And after the second round, I was in full control. I felt, John Mitchell at the end of the first year tournament. I mean, he kicked me so hard in the face that the ref stopped it. I wouldn't blame him, and I was really concussed after. So probably took the most damage after that fight. Uh, and then cutting weight for K Musa sucked too. So I don't know. I probably have to say John Mitchell because the damage I took after, and I was in a lot of pain afterwards for like 2 weeks.
And speaking about damage, I know it came up at the press conference like last night on the UFC, where it mostly was the second fight of the night. There was six knockdowns for one opponent, and it was kind of asked about the free knockdown rule. If after the third knockdown, the fight should be stopped. Do you feel like as long as you're not taking too much damage with the knockdowns, it's fine. The referee is able to judge it, or would you like to see like a free knockdown rule, like was in Muay Thai, to come into MMA?
Yeah, I don't think the knockdown rule is necessary. Uh, I think the ref should be the one to dictate it. What I would like to see in MMA is like in boxing is your corner if they can throw in the towel for
Yeah,
you. I think that would be better. Because I'd rather have a corner call the fight than a ref. And sometimes you get these refs that really like go on, Herb Dean especially, right? Like they let these fights go on, and it's like, dude, just fucking end it. But yeah, honestly, I would just want the corner to have the ability to stop the fights when they know, it's there's no way of coming back, right? But there are some fights where the fighter does come back, right? And it's like, oh
yeah.
my God, who would have expected? But probably on the grander scale, be better for corners to stop their fighters from fighting when if you have a good corner, they'll know your limitations.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is kind of relying on you having that good corner, being able to know when it is too much, and not just, oh, if this lasts one more minute, maybe you could get this. Do you
Yeah.
feel like obviously it's been implemented currently in Europe and Octagon, but like open scoring has it's kind of doing the rounds. It was a big topic last year. How would you like that to be implemented?
Yeah, just I would like a I'm an auditor, I'm an accountant, so I would like a formal, scoring system for for everything. So I know
Yeah,
let's say takedown is 4 points, right? Punch is 1 point. I don't know. Touch on the glove, a punch that's blocked, half a point. Have some type of
great
and
system.
now with AI, especially in AI, video, you can definitely have a point system. Uh, because I mean, I think these federations don't want a point system because they can always, if it's a close fight, they can give it to the superstar who the guy they want to market.
Yeah,
And they can control the judges this way a little bit. But yeah, I would like a formal scoring system that we can just know. And maybe that would be cool. Every federation would have like maybe some federations takedowns worth more than others. More want to implement more striking, so strikes are worth just as much as a takedown, right? That would be cool.
yeah.
I would think like a formal numeral scoring system.
And do you feel like obviously people do give a lot more damage at first? If you get the cut, great. Do you feel like they have to kind of put a bit more emphasis on wrestling just because it does take a lot to get a guy down and to be able to control him?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's got to be some type of if a guy is good wrestler, takes you down, holds you down, punches you, I would like that to be accounted for, right? And you should be
Yeah,
able to fight wins that way. But it's just a matter of how do you compare it to striking, right? So for me, being a great wrestler, I think is way harder than being a good boxer. So I really think that wrestling is a harder skill, and I think that it should be appreciated. And but yeah, just a clear definition of what's a takedown worth, and if you control a guy for the whole round, but then you get knocked down at the end of the last 10 seconds, it's like who wins the round? I would say the wrestler, right? Because
yeah.
you control them for the whole fight. But some people would say no, right? So I think it would be a matter of every federation that you fight for has a clear outline of what they value and what they want to show, for the scoring system, what they want to emphasize.
And then obviously after this fight, you want one more fight. And then are you seeing what is your options available, or if PFL offer you a deal, are you going to give them the first option, see what there is, and then negotiate if you can't really come to a deal straight away, or what's your
So
options after this?
I have a 2 fight contract for this year, so yeah, I mean, my next fight will be with PFL, and that's yeah, whatever they give me. I took this one now on a bit of a short notice because they couldn't promise me anything else this
Yeah.
till like maybe after September, and I didn't want to do that, so I took this one. So yeah, it's whatever they give me, whatever they want. I just hope that they find me one before the end of the year. That would be ideal. Probably November, hopefully before Thanksgiving.
And then obviously you did come into the PFL when you were 8-0. You have now are nine like you're 14-0 just now. How grateful are you for PFL for giving you this experience on the big scale?
Yeah, it's nice. It's pays good too, right? So
Yeah.
now it's like second contract with the PFL, and I get paid good. And the first 2 years winning the tournament, it blessed me. So yeah, I'm very happy with the PFL, with the amount of fights they've given me, and yeah, let's keep it going. Let's.
And who were you really looking up to as when you're coming into this team starting off? Who was the big stars that you're looking up to?
I just like the Polish fighters. I wanna, we have, for a little nation, we've got a lot of good fighters like
Yeah.
Joanna and Jan Blachowicz. So I just want to reach, their status. That's who I look up to. And then, I love the Polish lightweights, Mateusz Gamrot and Rembecki. They're, for being in the hardest weight class in the world. It's they're really great and they really make me proud. So I just want to, I want to represent my country.
And we know that you'll be able to represent your country against Sergio, get that victory once again, and then we'll hopefully see you come September, November time and get the victory there. Thank you for coming on. It was great speaking. Is there anyone you wanting to shout out or anything else you're wanting to add?
Well, thank you for the interview, Scott. It was sweet, and I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors. XPJ Source and Grappler Mag. And when I say cheers to Duval County, Florida, Jacksonville, and Olsztyn, Poland, my home city.
That sounds great, and we can't wait to see you come this week, be able to get that victory. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Scott.